Landlords have no ethos. The real meaning of a free market. The statement that landlords have no ethos is a statement that landlords believe in nothing, with only one possible caveat. It is possible that landlords by and large act hypocritical, espousing beliefs but not actually following through with those beliefs. The most charitable interpretation I can give is that landlords are raised in a society where their behavior is normalized and lauded. Because if anyone believes in such ideals as democracy, freedom, the free market, independence, and self-actualization, then they would never become a landlord. Landlordism exists without ethos, but is justified by a body of linguistic manipulation. To fully understand this, we must understand the origins of the meaning free market. In feudal times, peasants did not own their land and were indebted to a lord or king. Being indebted meant they didn't have freedom. They had obligations to pay favor. After centuries of being treated like peasants, humans came to understand ownership over property as freeing them from the debt obligations of peasants. The intellectual thinkers of the Victorian era conjured up democracy as a form of debt for which one is represented in government. Humans will always find a way to recreate forms of oppression under new systems, such as modern landlords. The ideals of freedom are generally universal. Don't take the fruits of my labor, but if you are at least give me representation in return. A democratic government is essentially a macroeconomic landlord. It is the one landlord we agree upon allowing to govern our lives, and we expect tremendous responsibility and fast response times to our issues. Within the nation, we have individual interests and interest groups like workers, landlords, and business owners. We already agree that taxation without representation is the literal definition of tyranny. So, within this context, how should trade be conducted? This is where we get to the heart of a free market, or a market for which taxation without representation does not exist. To take the fruits of another's labor, and on top of that not give any representation in managerial decisions, is to indebt that person like a peasant. Modern-day landlords extract profit for which they donate to political action committees and acquire more property. This helps them monopolize the market and induce servitude towards their ever-entrenching interest. What ethos would lead a person to engage in this kind of self-aggrandizing behavior? Profit and power for its own sake is no ethos. It is an expanding, violent monopoly that displaces people from their natural habitats and makes them engage in desperate behaviors. Private property owners compete with publicly owned land, creating their own taxation systems without representation. If landlords believed in the free market, they would either give up their pursuits or they would create a democratic system to represent the needs of the community they indebted. At best, tyranny results from a misguided ethos, where selfishness and greed manifest as political ideology justified by its own delusions.